DC Multiverse!
So, heidi-ho everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Brad the DC Universe Geek, and today we're going to be looking at the McFarlane Collector Edition Metron and Mobius Chair. The packaging for this bad boy is the same as it always is, with the side of the package saying Metron, New Gods, and the rear of the package having this friggin-tastic piece of artwork. I wish that I had that as a poster. Out of the package, we can see that this new god came with an alternate set of open hands, a trading card, which is exactly the same image as the back of the box, with, of course, a data file that you can pause to read if you'd like. He's so grumpy looking right there. He looks like someone's very, very disappointed grandpa. We got an action figure base for the character to stand on, just like always. Of course, we got the figure, which is the main bit. And of course, we got the Mobius Chair. Now, the Mobius Chair actually comes in two pieces, and it needs to be assembled. So you just take this piece right here, this front piece, slide it into the rest of the chair, push it in, and ta-da! You have a fully assembled Mobius Chair for Metron to sit on. Now, the Mobius Chair from the front is very cool looking. There is no doubt. Look at all of those fourth world new god details on that chair. But from the back and the sides, the chair definitely looks perhaps a little bit thin. Like a little bit, you know what I mean? Like there should be more bulk to the Mobius Chair. However, I mean, I do understand it's a pack-in with an action figure, and I'm really happy we got it. However, when we get to the back, it's like, oh, well, that is the reason why the Mobius Chair is a little cheap-looking, because there's no back. There's no back to the Mobius Chair. It's just hollow plastic. So, I mean, personally, I would have, if I was working at McFarlane Toys, I would have had a back to the chair also made and put on. And that would have probably finished it off and made it look even better and given this action figure pack-in a little bit more value. Here is his Mobius Chair compared to the Mattel version, the DC Signature Collection version of a Mobius Chair. And I gotta say, out of the two chairs, I mean, you know, I'll just ask you, I mean, which one do you think is the better out of the two chairs? Do you think it's the current one? Or do you think that it is the previous one that Mattel released? As much as I hate to say it, I mean, Mattel put it back on their chair. There's more details in the chair. I mean, even like the rear of this disc right here. I mean, this is not finished, and this one is. And I would have to say that I give it to Mattel. I think the Mattel one is definitely better. There's paint apps on the Mattel version of a Mobius Chair. The chair itself is just more ornate, and I don't know. And the thing is, McFarlane figures will fit on this chair. I had Wally West sitting there for a long time on my shelf, and he looks great. And finally, much like the Mattel version, which this little round bit spins up top here, so doth the McFarlane, and it actually spins better. Now, as for the Metron figure, fantastic looking. You can see him on the spinner. I wanted to give you an idea of what he looked like before I took him in hand and started doing comparisons and stuff like that. Pretty simple figure, and you can see which body buck they used to make him, right? I mean, any guesses which one it is? Any guesses? That's right, you in the back. That is the Superman body buck that was used for the Lee Bermejo Superman, and in this case, you're looking at him right now wedged in between Superman Red and Superman Blue. And the dead giveaway that this is the Superman body buck is also the wrist cuffs that he has at the top of his gloves. They're the same as the wrist cuffs that Superman has. And while we're at it, why don't we have him with some other Superman figures just to see how he compares to those body bucks. We have the original scale body buck, we have the Hush scale body buck, and we have the Jose Luis Garcia Lopez Superman action figure on the Old Man Soup's body buck. And next, I feel like it's a good idea to compare him to two of the other new gods from McFarlane Toys. I've got him in between Mr. Miracle and Orion. and you can see that he's holding his own in between those two characters. And finally, I have him beside the DC Signature Collection Metron as well. And it's hard to say which one I like best. I like the color scheme on the chest of the Signature Collection one more. I like the orange on the chest, but honestly, I like the blue on the McFarlane version better. Having him in hand now, we can take a close-up look at that deco on his chest, and it looks pretty good. Mine is clean, it's crisp, there's no smudge marks in the paint. It would have been even cooler if this was actually sculpted onto his chest. How rad would that have been? Very, very simple body buck. Very simple deco, very little deco to be honest. The only deco is on the gloves and on his chest here and on his facial sculpt, which looks pretty darn good. I really, really like how well McFarlane Toys has done this facial sculpt. Now, as for getting him to sit down in his Mobius chair, well, pretty simple. Just stick him in the sitting position like that. Put his feet down like that. Bend his arms, I guess, because you want to have his hands sort of resting over here on the controls for the Mobius chair. Come on, let's bend him up. I guess you're getting a little bit of a pre-idea of what his articulation is like before we see his articulation. It would have been nice if there were foot pegs right here just to hold him in the chair. He will sit in the chair. He does sit in the chair nicely, but I just think it would have been a little bit cooler if there were foot pegs and they could have held him in place nice and snugly. Okay, I'm curious. What does he look like if we stick him in the other Mobius chair? Let's do that. See, he fits in this chair too. Yeah, he fits in both Mobius chairs actually quite nicely. So if this one was to like fall off the shelf and break, or your dog ate it, or aliens stole it along with your homework, then, and you have this one, you would still have a Mobius chair to sit him in that would be okay enough in scale that it would still look good. Okay, now I want to find out how articulated it is. And I've seen this body buck before. I know basically what it's capable of, but I just want to run through the motions. Looking up, looking down. Fabulous. That is really good. Side to side. So this head gets so much articulation. You got the arms. There's your T pose. You have your rounded hinges in the armpits here, and you have your sockets, and round they go. You have your bicep swivel, and that bad boy will do 360 as you would expect. You've got his torso articulation, which is fantastic for a McFarlane figure. That is really, really good. I really, really like this. You have your waist articulation, and that's also going to do 360. So when you take the torso and the waist and bend it back, that's what you get. And you take the torso and the waist and you bend them both forward, and that's what you get. Open up the groin there. You got that McFarlane style ratchet groin. What does he have? Here we go, drum roll. This is the one that I check, and I'm always the most, well, it goes in, doesn't go out that much. I wish there were more. That's something that I find myself thinking a lot when it comes to that particular articulation point with the McFarlane Toys figure. Then we have the double jointed knees, good enough for me. And we have the rounded style hinge for the ankle, all the way down, all the way up. And then it's also going to pivot, as you can see, and you've got the stub toe, broken toes articulation. So, what do I think about this Metron figure with Mobius chair pack-in? Honestly, I really, really like it. This is one that I was actually really excited about. We actually don't get very many Metron figures, so I will vacuum up everyone that we can. And it just so happens that this one is actually very good. It utilizes one of McFarlane's best body bucks, and it's a fantastic design. And the Mobius chair is a fantastic pack-in. I mean, you can't have Metron without the Mobius chair. That would just be weird. Anyway, that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching. It means so much to me as always, and I will see you all with the next one. Take care, everybody.